Hello and welcome. Thank you for being here and investing your time in improving your English and yourself. There is something many people feel when learning English, but rarely say out loud, and that is the longer they study at school, the less confident they feel when they actually have to speak in real life. They remember rules, vocabulary, and grammar tests, but when it is time to say a simple sentence, their mind goes blank and their voice feels stuck. And the problem is not that they are bad at languages, but that they were taught English in a way that was never meant to be used. Most English classes focus on remembering information instead of using the language in daily life. People learn long word lists and grammar rules, but they are rarely shown how to talk about simple things like their day, their feelings, or their plans. It is like learning how a car works by reading a book, but never sitting in the driver's seat and actually driving. After a while, English starts to feel difficult, stressful, and far away from real life. The truth is, native speakers do not use very difficult words all the time. They use a small group of common words again and again, but in many different situations. If you can use around a few hundred basic and useful words well, you can already communicate in most daily conversations. Instead of trying to learn many hard words, focusing on core words helps you feel that English is something you can really use, and that feeling makes it easier to keep learning. Many learners believe they need a different sentence for every situation, but in real life, there are simple sentence patterns that work in many contexts. These patterns are like a Swiss Army knife, not perfect for one thing, but helpful in almost every situation. When you have these tools, you feel less nervous because you know you can always say something, and saying something is better than saying nothing. Grammar is not something to memorize, but something to use. Each grammar point makes more sense when it is connected to a real and familiar situation. Instead of learning grammar rules from a book, you learn them through sentences you might say every day. When grammar is part of your life, your brain remembers it naturally, not as a rule, but as a habit. Many people listen to English but still do not understand, even when they know most of the words. This happens because native speakers do not speak word by word, but in groups of words, with linking sounds. When you try to listen to every single word, your brain can't keep up. But when you listen to common phrases and chunks, understanding becomes easier and more natural. Listening becomes recognition, not translation. English is not only about words, but also about rhythm and intonation. When you get used to how sentences rise and fall, understanding and speaking feel smoother. That is why some people pronounce words clearly, but still sound unnatural. Following the rhythm helps you speak more confidently, even with simple vocabulary. A big change happens when you stop translating in your head. At first, you can practice with very small and simple thoughts during the day. Over time, your brain starts to accept English as a real language, not a problem to solve, and speaking becomes faster and more natural. Forgetting words is normal and happens to everyone. Even native speakers forget words and find other ways to explain their ideas. Instead of being afraid, you just need to learn the word again in a clear situation and use it a few times. Your brain remembers what you use, not what you read once. Learning English is not about knowing everything, but about using what you know every day. When you practice regularly, use English in real situations, and accept mistakes, you are already doing it right. English does not need to be perfect to start. It only needs to be real. If you find this video interesting and helpful, please give me a like and subscribe.